course, the microphone, as usual, is blocking my whole face because my face is so little. So I gotta like come over. It's like, hey, everybody. So hello, viewers, Facebook friends, and family. We are so happy to have you on the show again today. Connect with Doston, and I'm connecting with y'all. So I have some of my really good friends here with me today. Many of them are authors. They have written wonderful, wonderful, wonderful books that's touching the lives of many. And then others just have a strong, compelling story of change, empowerment, and lifting people up. So the title today is Women Authors, A Life Lived. Authors highlighting their contributions to service, to family, and to community. And trust me when I say these ladies here, bomb.com, they got it together. Not only are they beautiful on the outside, they are so smart, intelligent, brave, courageous, determined. I mean, go getters, won't give up. We definitely, as women and men, we need to connect with some of these women because they will truly inspire us to continue going forward. So, without further ado, I just want to say their names. They're going to share a little bit more about who they are, and they're also going to show you their book, and then we're going to dive into like so much more. So, when we think about violence and the system of violence, the act of violence, it's all perpetuated by like people not having their needs met, people not having somebody to show them love, to give them love, people feeling unloved, feeling invisible, feeling unwanted. It's perpetuated by people not having food, not having shelter, not having a place to live, feeling like their back is up against the wall. So having authors, particularly women authors who have shared their story, their life experience. This isn't just fictional stuff. This is stuff that's real, that's true to life. So I am ready for us to dive in and really hear about what these ladies have to say. So the first we have Miss April McGee. She's someone who I just met not too long ago. We've only been friends probably less than a year.
Yeah.
So April McGee is going to be here to talk to you a little bit about her book. And then we're going to have Sharice Stapleton. So she's going to say Sharice. She said she been calling me Sharice since we've been in kindergarten. So Sharice Stapleton. Now I said it right for Facebook.
Oh,
All right.
nice.
Once we close all this down, you back to
Back to
Sharice.
Sharice.
Yeah. So Sharice Stapleton, who's a great friend of mine. We've been friends since middle school.
Mhm.
Okay, we've been friends since middle school. So Sharice, show them your book. All righty. Positive Parenting. And April, name of your book is A Life Unknown. A Life Unknown. And then I have my Northwestern Wildcat. You should have been a Wildcat. Woo, woo.
That's right. I got them too.
Me too.
We all some cats up in
Okay,
here.
we all cats.
What about
No,
you?
a Flint Academy
That's-
Eagle.
That's why she was so quiet. That's why
A
she was so
Flint
quiet.
Academy Eagle.
Everybody like, oh yeah, we all Wildcats up here. She just sitting here. I'm like, wait, you wild? She's like, no, why you not saying nothing? Say something.
We fly high.
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh man. So we have my good friend Tarnesia Martin. Tarnesia Martin, you know I was gonna do that. I'm sorry, Tarnesia
That's
Martin. Okay, she's gonna dive into the story. But yeah, so we went to Northwestern together, and when I'm telling you, she knew me when I was not like Kenyatta. And I knew her when she was,
Right.
Tarnesia, but she was T.
Yeah.
The tea was hot. Way hot. So she's gonna dive into that a little bit more. And then this is Chanel Disman. And Chanel is one of my best friends from, oh my gosh.
7th grade, 8th grade.
7th or 8th grade. And when y'all moved, didn't y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they moved. And I'm telling you, my heart was broke. It was like literally broke. She said, I got some news for you. I remember. She said, I got some news for you. I'm like, what is it? She was like, we're moving. I said, no.
Aww.
And then we reconnected after some years, and we've been just inseparable. So we've been best friends for a really long time. We continue to be best friends as we continue to grow into our season age. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
And Tarnisa, I didn't see the name of your book.
All is not lost.
All is not lost. Look at these titles, y'all. All is not lost. We're not talking about my book today. I'll throw it in there a little bit because it took me a long time to birth that baby. So I'll just mention that. But today is all about these ladies here. But just in terms of title, A Life Unknown, positive parenting, all is not lost. And the name of my book is Somebody Somewhere Has to Care. So when you just hear these titles in and of themselves, you can see how these ladies were truly connected to community and wanting to make things better for all people. So in saying that, Chanel, can you introduce yourself a bit?
Yes. Well, my name is Chanel Desmond. I am a longtime community member from here in Flint. I am a Flintstone through and through. The first title that I'm very proud of is being a mother. I'm an advocate, a financial professional of over 25 years. And most recently to that list of things that I can describe myself by, cancer survivor and host of monthly conversation navigating cancer in the community. And that is who I am. I hope that you're able to log on and join me in that monthly community conversation, as so many have been touched by cancer, maybe not as a diagnosis personally, but maybe by someone that you know or you work with. So join us every second Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. We're on Facebook Live.
Nice. Talk about empowerment. If you're out there right now and you're like, I don't have nobody, I'm all in this by myself, I don't know what to do, I want to just throw in the towel, just give up on everything. Let me tell you, there's 5 women sitting in this room that I know without a shadow of a doubt. If you need some help, these ladies will help you. I put it on my Facebook page who my special guests are today. I put their names in there. All you got to do is just hit their name. It'll take you right to their Facebook page. Send them a private message if you need to. Send me a private message. But trust me when I say you are not in this alone. All right? You are not in this alone. When we talk about eliminating the tolerance of violence, we start by building strong relationships. We start by seeing people and making sure that they understand that they are loved. Yes, we also have to work on changing some policies and some structural things as well in order to make sure that everybody is valued, at an equal level. But at the same time, we start with the aspect of love, value, and making sure that everybody feels like they are truly somebody. So in saying that, April, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your book and your story?
Yes, I'm April McGee. I'm 41 years old. I've lived in Flint all of my life. And the reason why I wrote this book, honestly, this is a very spiritual book. I was in the darkest time, one of the darkest times of my life. So I'm praying to God, asking why. So I changed the question of why me and asked, what do you want from me in this storm? You allowed me in this storm. What do you want? And he took me back all the way back to 2007, where I had my first trauma experience. And that's where I changed my whole identity. So that's where I had a whole title for this book. I can't remember, but when I was praying on a title, I asked God. I told God the name of the book, and God said, "No, we're gonna name it Life Unknown." And the reason being, I thought, in the time I wrote the book, I had just lost my nephew at the age of 23 to gun violence. And at the same time, I had a very rare miscarriage that the doctors couldn't even explain to me why that happened the way it did. And so I'm thinking that the title A Life Unknown was because of that. My nephew really didn't get to know him. He was 23. The baby I was carrying didn't come to earth, so that life I never knew. And God said, no, it is you, your life. You never, excuse me, you never knew who you are because you created this character that I never anointed you to be. So the power in this book is showing up as your authentic self. Finding your reason in storms that you are in, you will come out in the most powerful way. If you do not allow that storm to overtake you, you learn the lesson and ride the waves of the storm.
Wow, that's powerful. That is powerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it took me 2 years. It took me 2 years to write the book, because when I say God took me back to 2007, it was part of my life I thought I healed from. So when I was writing it, I did not want to go back and visit those chapters of my life. And God said, it's because you never healed. You masked it. And this book, you writing it is healing you.
I was just about to ask you, so how did the book help you with all of that?
It actually healed me. It I had to come face to face with a lot of things that I buried and never faced again. Just pretty much became numb to it until I had to reopen that chapter, and it was hard. But it showed me a revelation of myself
Mm.
that I settled for less because I always thought I knew my worth. But when you settle for less than what you deserve, you do not know your worth. You could say you know your worth all day long, but if you're settling for anything less than what you deserve, you do not know who you are. You do not know your worth. Because
Wow.
walking in your higher self, you will not settle for anything less than.
Ooh,
And
that's
that's
good
just
stuff. Y'all say something. I'm in church.
Yeah, we
Somebody say
listening.
something up in here.
I'm trying to keep you.
I know you over here rocking or something.
I get it. Like, oh.
Yes, yes. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that. I want to let our viewers know. Put a message on Facebook. I'll make sure to let our guests know what it is that you're saying. And then also, if you want to call in, feel free to call 248-820-5053. 248-820-5053 if you have something that you would like to say. April, thank you so very much
You're
for
welcome.
sharing that. I
Yeah.
know it's not easy, and this is for all of you. I know it's not easy to like put this type of stuff in out, share it out in the public, like to just give it all to the people. And I know when you hit that enter button and it's like it just
Yeah.
went on, I know you was like, oh my goodness, it's really out there now for
It's
everybody
out there.
to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know
Yeah.
that's not the easiest thing to do. It takes great courage
Yeah.
to be able to do something like that and share those intimate, um, private moments and times with people because you don't know how they're gonna react. You don't know
Right.
what they're gonna say, and
Yeah.
and that's always a hard thing. People can say, words don't hurt, but oh yes they
Oh
do.
yes,
they
they
do.
do.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do hurt.
Yeah.
Yes. So I commend you. Thank you
Thank
so very
you.
much
Thank
for
you.
doing what you've done. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I
Kudos
appreciate
to our
it.
sisters for sure.
Yeah.
So Sharice Stapleton,
Mhm.
can you please share a little bit about who you are and also the book that you have written, which I know it aligns greatly with your story and what you feel your passion and calling is.
Well, most definitely. To give you all a little update about me, I've truly stepped into my calling as a pastor.
Mhm.
On the book, it is written Pastor Sheree Stapleton. Um, the book is Positive Parenting for Trauma Informed Families. And the reason I wrote it is because during the pandemic and before the pandemic pertaining to the water crisis, our families didn't have a lot of information on things to how to speak to their children, how to communicate, and a lot of child abuse and neglect happens because of communication.
Mm-hmm.
This is based off of the ACEs study, which is the Adverse Childhood Experience. And it speaks to the things that happen to us in our childhood that affects us into our adulthood that may be unresolved, or you may not even know that it's even a thing, right? So when I say it's information in here about how to create a routine, because even having a routine for your children to get, I mean, some things, we're seasoned, my children are grown, but when you have younger children, to prepare them and prepare yourself for the week, for the day, it takes a lot of stress off of you. Instead of getting up, having to, go get the stuff. I got to get stuff out the dryer. Now I got to go iron the stuff. But if you do it the night before and have it prepared, everybody gets up and is streamlined and peace flows freely in your home.
Yeah.
And that's what's lacking, peace, right? um I'm thankful for the opportunity. Like you said, it is a part of my work. We utilize it in our programming. Every parent that comes into our program gets a book because they're going to use the book within programming. Just today I was able to teach 50 educators. That's really big.
That's amazing. That's
And
really
and
good.
also for them
Yeah.
to receive the book, right? So just the opportunities, as opportunities arise, I'm thankful for them. And just, this is not about this is about my life because I was born with the ace. If you think about it, well, people that don't
What is
understand,
ACE?
let me,
Right.
yeah, let
You
me,
was born with an
because
ace.
I'm just talking.
What an
I'm
ace of
just talking
club?
like
I mean,
y'all
oh,
know
ace of spades.
exactly
Look,
what's
y'all know I
happening.
don't play
Right,
cards.
right. Thank you so much for clearing that
You're
up for me,
welcome, sister.
Kiana.
No problem. I got
So,
you good.
so ACEs is the adverse childhood experience. It is a study that was done by two researchers, Vincent Folletti and Rob Anda, through the CDC and some other public health organizations. And they found out that through this study, certain risk factors happen because of things that happen to us and when we're children. Like if you've witnessed, I'm not going to say a lot because I don't want to trigger anyone. I'll say some things to the point where you'll understand what I'm talking about. But say that a child is being neglected in their childhood up to 18 years of age, that can affect them later on in life if it hasn't been resolved, right? And it also can cause risk factors such as diabetes, high blood pressure, um uh the certain mental health issues, and a lot of these things can be avoided. So this book is a mitigation to ACEs. It actually is a prevention method to help parents who may not even know what this is, but give them tools so that their children may not have to experience ACEs. So we're really big into the prevention. There's something called PACEs, which are positive childhood experiences, and we want our children to have those. Kenyatta knows that I love having things where children can learn and families can do things together, because creating memories is one of the most positive things that you could do with your family. But what I was saying before was I was born with the ace. I was born 2 pounds, 3 ounces at birth. So that could have really affected me in a lot of ways. And it probably has. But I'm thankful to learn and to be able to utilize what I've learned, even with myself, and also to help bring it to others. And this was wrote for Flint and Genesee County. I wrote this for my city. I wrote this for my home because I want families to thrive and I want parents to parent well.
Mm, that's good. That I see you,
Thank
Shanice.
you.
Yeah, give
Thank
it up
you.
for.
Thank you.
Do people still do this? Oh, y'all
You-
can see
ooh, ooh.
that. Okay. Cherie, so
Yes.
tell us what you think parents are facing today, because oftentimes we work with, I don't know who else, but we'll work with kids. I know April's a mentor. I talked to Tarnisa the other day about being a mentor. Sharice is a mentor to some kids who are on the fence. These aren't the kids that you has a high probability of going to college, doing positive things. These are kids who are struggling, trying to find their way. These I know these ladies are mentors to some of those young people, and oftentimes we'll go through the kid to get to the parent because the household is so chaotic. And so when you think about those parents, two questions: one, how are we reaching those parents? Um, and then secondly, what are some of the things they're facing today with everything that's going on and with what we see that's going on with our young people?
First, I say how you reach them is you meet them where they are. You treat them with dignity and respect,
I was hoping you said that.
regardless of what you think about their life, because their reality is their reality, and what you, I know, no, no,
Yes.
girl,
Yes.
stop! I'm trying to
Girl, I'm
talk.
telling you, I'm excited though. So I'm like, don't
But
let her come with no
no,
scholarly definition. Like, well, this is what I think.
not at
I
all.
was like,
Not at
yes, girl,
all.
break it
Not at all.
down.
This is real, right? This ain't,
Yeah.
that's that it's things that college have and it's things that academia does, but I see the heart of people, and what most parents don't want to be a bad, no parent wants to be a bad parent. No
Right.
parent wants to do anything wrong, but situations happen and they may not know how to navigate it or may not even know what to do in the situation. So they are, that, what is it called? Riding the cuffs. They just doing what they got to do to get along, right? To get it moving. And the other question, Kenyatta, was, because I gotta stay on.
Was the other question is, I think you, what are parents facing today?
Yeah.
Dealing
Well,
with what young people.
a lot of it is that not having support. We don't have grandmama like we used to have.
That's true.
I mean, I talk about my grandmother all the time because she was the backbone of everything. Her house was the house we went through when life was happening. If we had a disagreement or something was going on, we met at grandmama's house, right? We don't have that house anymore. And we don't have those types of relationships that, and us being mentors, we stepping in to do some things, but it's nothing like having that figure that you can go and embrace and fall in their arms when life is falling apart. Sometimes you just need somebody to fall into and say, I'm tired. I need help. And for that person to embrace you and provide you with that help.
So that is so good. You know what?
That's good.
Come on, y'all. Bring it in.
Oh, family.
Yes.
We hug you. Oh,
Thank
you.
Yeah, sometimes you get your simple acts of
Yeah.
kindness.
Yeah, most
and show your
definitely.
love. Love. Yeah. Thank you, Cherise. That was so beautiful. I
That was
mean,
good.
I know.
Thank you.
Shoot, I felt that. I don't know
Amen.
about nobody else, but I felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. And I know we're not just talking about what needs to be done.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about what needs to be done, but we're doing
That's right.
those things. We're implementing
That's
these
right.
things into action, making them a part of practice,
That's right.
part of who we are and what we do. And I think there's other people out there, our Facebook friends and family, who are doing the same thing. We're not just talking about the problem, the issue, and not doing anything about it. No, we're working tirelessly every single day to make a difference. So in saying that, my sister Tarnisa, all is not lost. Can you please share a little bit about who you are and also your inspiration behind this great story?
Yes. Good afternoon, good evening. How you doing out there? I'm so glad to be among such positive women. I am Tarnisa Martin. I know my Facebook page says Tarnisa Tucker.
Oh, so I was okay.
But I'm actually Tarnisa Martin. I am a mother of two, a proud grandmother, a nurse. I've been a nurse for over 20 years. I've been caring for people my whole entire life. I love writing. My first writing experience started when I wrote the play Homegirls, which was a place to show that the street life offered no respect and no future. So that was my first dream, and my first goal was to become a playwright. But then I let fear set in, and I put my dream on the shelf. A lot of times people will look at you and think that you have it going on. And I always say, you see the glory on my life, but you don't know my story.
That's right.
You don't know all of the things that I had to overcome, that I was considered an at-risk youth. Even while we was at Northwestern back in the day, I just thought I was fine and cute. But that GPA was average. And so I was a teenage mom, grew up on the north side of Flint, loved the city of Flint, but I was told that I was an at-risk youth because I was born and raised on the north side. I was a teenage mom. I was told I would never become anything because my GPA was low. Went to school, took 10 years to bounce back. Bounced back from that, got my GP up, transferred, became a nurse, went on the floor, and my life was good. I had kids, good neighborhood, good life, or whatever. And all of the things that I had overcome, the one thing that almost took me out was divorce. So when you think about all is not lost, in that moment of my life, I thought that all was lost. And so I wrote the book because I wanted to expose shame. And when you expose shame, you change the game.
Right.
And I wanted people to know that just because somebody leaves you or something doesn't go the way that you expected, that you don't forfeit your future. That you still a queen, and
That's
that you
right.
still that you're a queen before the ring,
That's
and that
right.
you still
Hey.
Queen before the ring.
have an
That's a book.
opportunity to
That's
bounce
good.
back. So that's why I wrote All Is Not Lost, because I was in my deepest, darkest moment, like she said, and I thought all was lost. I thought all was lost because I lost my husband, I lost my house, I lost social stability, I lost friends. I mean, at that time I was preaching and praising and worshiping. I even stepped down from the pulpit because I thought that all was lost. So I wrote the book because I wanted other people to know that all is not lost, that you can still bounce back, heal, and win.
All right.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
I love that.
Thank you for sharing that. There's so many women, mothers, grandmothers, because there's so many grandmothers, grandparents taking care of their grandchildren. and they're in some deep, dark moments right now. There's somebody right now sitting in a dark room, crying their eyes out, thinking that this is the end. I don't know how I'm going to make it. And some, unfortunately, are also having like homicidal and or suicidal thoughts. So again, Tarnise, I'm gonna ask you as I asked Sharice, how do we reach these moms, these families? Because if we can help them, then we can help the babies. We can help the young people more. Like I said, sometimes we got to take a back door and we got to go through the young person in order to get to the parent. But if we're able to reach that woman, reach those parents, then how do we make a difference from that perspective?
I think by being transparent.
Yeah.
I think by being, I always say, be real, radical, and raw. I think by being able to share your experiences and being able to understand what they're going through without judgment. And that judgment is something. Shame is hard to overcome. You know, it's easy to say, yeah, I'm saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. But when you don't have no food on your table and your heart is broke and you've been left alone, that ain't what you want to hear. You want to hear, I've been there. And this is how I came out. Yes, it hurted. Yes, I thought my life was over. Yes, I didn't have the answers, but yes, I had to fall to my knees. And guess what? I even went to the point to where I was mad at God. And then the Lord had to ask me one day, why are you mad at me? I'm not the one that cheated on you. So when you're talking to people, you got to be real. You got to be honest. You have to share your stories of strength, struggles, and you also have to share what broke you down so that they can see what broke you down is actually what built you back up.
That's good. That's good. That's real good.
That's
What were you saying, April?
I know I'm saying that's a word in itself. What she just said. What broke you down is actually what
Builds you
up. Yeah.
So listen, y'all. Coretta Scott King once said, "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members." And I say that because I'm a strong proponent of it takes all of us.
That's right.
It takes all of us to help the least of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so, thinking about that for those out there in the world who think, you know, they can just do it by themselves, you know, they can just make it happen. No, they don't need anybody's help. And then for those who are just walking throughout life and only focusing on yourself, only focusing on you and your family. Well, we got a whole community out there hurt, broke, you know, in need of all types of stuff. And all we focus on is me and mine. But community needs support. Parents need support. Women need support. Fathers need support. People need support. And so when we think about it from that perspective, when you talk about deepest, darkest moment, people need support. Sometimes I don't care how strong we are. I don't care how strong we put ourselves out there. We need people to call us from time to time and say, everything okay with you? The Lord put you on my heart, or I was just thinking about you. You good? Hey, I'm just out riding. Do you want to ride with me? You want to go out for some coffee, for a smoothie, for this, for that? That's what really helps, because you never know if you call at a particular time when somebody needs you the most. And we can't get too busy. We cannot be too busy to reach out to one another, to look outside our door, to express simple acts of kindness, to give somebody a kind word as opposed to judging them.
That's right.
All of these types of things is what helps us to be a strong community and helps us to continue to build each other up.
That's right. And I was going to say, you know, I remember we used to say this in nursing, you know, people don't know you care until you show them you care.
That's good.
I mean, we could say a lot of things about your heart, and we can, you know, perform CPR and do all of that. But what they remember is the compassion, is that you understanding their pain, is that you being there with them. So I say people don't know you care until you show you care. And then one thing too is when I grew up, a lot of times I saw people, I never thought they went through anything. So I'm trying to be like them, not knowing that they done went through the same trials and tribulations that I've been through. So we got to be honest. We got to reach back and tell them, look, we've been there. This happened to us too. And this is how we did. And look, we made it through.
Wow, that's really good. Thank you so much. And y'all jump in whenever you want to. If you got a comment or something, if y'all have a comment or something, feel free to say so. And Facebook family and friends, why y'all didn't tell me y'all couldn't see my face? I was talking, I'm like, oh, like this, and I look on my screen, I'm like, where my face? All you see is hair. But so I'm gonna come over here a little bit so y'all can see my face here from time to time. So I want Chanel to introduce herself because many of us have dreams, we have hopes, we are motivated to do things, and then we set it aside. Life happens and we put it up. But if you have a purpose, if you have a calling, if you have an assignment, if God has put something on you to do, you got to fulfill it. You got to do it. And trust me when I say each of us have a story. Somebody needs to hear what you've been through because there's somebody at a place even lower than where you was at, than where I was at. I know that for sure. In my book, I show pictures of when I had Bell's palsy really, 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 really bad. It was hard for me to put those pictures out there for the world to see. I look okay now, but those pictures, they were absolutely horrible. But we have to do that because somebody needs to see those pictures. Somebody needs to hear our stories. Somebody needs to know that what you seeing right here. Oh no, baby, I got a story to tell you.
That's right.
Come sit down so we can break some bread.
That's right.
Yes. So so that's just so incredibly important to express yourself and then don't and be honest, like you said, be transparent and be honest about who you are. Let's say it put it this way: where you've been, where you are, and where you going. What about that?
That's it.
Yes. Okay, I'll go with go there with.
Good.
So that leads me up to my dear friend Chanel Disman. I'm gonna let her share how she wants to share, and she's motivation and inspiration for all of us. If you have something that you want to do, believe that you can do it. And I know that Chanel can convey that message better than anyone. So I'll turn it over to Chanel.
Well, thank you for that. And as I sit amongst these beautiful, amazing, anointed women and listen to your stories, I'm taking mental note, but I'm taking so much from this, right? Because I can identify with the things that you're saying. When you said, share your strengths and your struggles, I think that's so imperative that we do in order to really be able to encourage and build one another up and that it means something, right? Because if I don't believe that you've ever been anywhere that you can truly identify with where I am, it's kind of hard for me to take your words and they really build me up, right? It's kind of tough. And so, yes, I am Chanel Disman and soon to be 53, as long as God says the same, and I believe that He has. And as I gave like a list of ways to describe myself, one of those things on there is recent cancer survivor and host of a monthly community conversation, navigating cancer in the community. And when Kenyatta talked about being able to do whatever you want to do, I've done a lot of things throughout my life. I've been, hot, little fast thing. That's my
no, girl, no.
I know. It's kind of hard to tell now. But been there, done that. Wrote, got the T-shirt.
Right.
And but that's a part of my journey, part of my story. But as I have fast forward and come along in my days, and cancer became a part of my story. Who would have ever thought? Not me. Not me. I was going about life, traveling, living life, doing what I want to, when I want to, how I want to, period. But then, just a trip to the doctor and blood work that alerted them that something was wrong. I was doing everything, and they said I was severely malnourished, dehydrated, low everything. And I thought I was looking footloose and fancy fine. I was looking great, but they said, no, you're not. Immediate testing revealed that there was a tumor. It was stage 3. And quickly they scheduled me for surgery to have it removed and put me on an aggressive treatment plan. But I'll tell you, from the moment of discovery to this moment, I never had a moment of anxiety. But I'll tell you what helped me in that. My faith.
That's right.
My faith.
That's right.
But I also have a community. right? I leaned into my community, but more importantly, is my community leaned into me.
So good.
Leaned into me, right? You showed up and you showed that you cared.
Yeah.
Right? I couldn't be around people, but guess what?
Yeah.
They was calling me and
Yeah.
texting me, calling me and texting me, calling me and
We
texting
were.
me, calling me and texting
Yes,
me.
we were.
And I couldn't do anything but just cry and just say, God, I thank you. God, I thank you. Because it's those kinds of things. But I'll tell you is that what it also did for me is the realization of who couldn't do what I was doing, who didn't have what I have, who needed these things. Being a financial professional and working in the community for over 25 years, I've seen the lack of resources, the lack of access. I've seen these things. But when I looked at it through the perspective of cancer, it was something very, very different. Very different. And it was one of my daughters who said, Mommy, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it for the people who don't have somebody to talk to, who don't have insurance like you have, who can't do what you do? I've been off work since March. I don't plan to go back to work until the beginning of October. And I haven't missed a beat. But I tell you what is I couldn't help but to think about who needed to be encouraged, who needed help. So I started this conversation so that people could tell their story. But most importantly, to break the stronghold of fear, to dispel the myths. Cancer is not a death sentence. But for me, it was an opportunity to do what? Live better. Do better. All the stuff that I had put aside because I was too busy traveling, I picked up those projects and I'm getting them moving, right? I'll release 3 books by the end of this year.
Okay, now.
Right?
So we do got another author in the room. Yes, we
But
do.
I've been writing. I've been doing those things that I had been tinkering with, right? But so many other projects, collaborating with people where it was we had conversations that we're going to do something one day, but we never got around to doing it. Well, guess what? Why wait?
Sometimes time when you don't want time to run out, and you never know when
And
time is going to run
You
out.
never know.
Yeah.
But it has been a joyous journey for me, a joyous journey, because it has allowed me to show up and to say, guess what? Cancer has a face that looks like anybody. It doesn't necessarily look like somebody who is crumpled up and balled up in a corner. It looks like the person that you see at the bank, somebody that's in the office next door to you, that's sitting on the pew at church next to you, the person that's standing in the line at the grocery store. It looks like the person who was standing in front of the class teaching the students. It looks like the student that's sitting in the desk right next to you. That's what it looks like. In a world where you can be anything, be kind, because you just don't know. You don't know what someone is dealing with. You don't know. So for me, when I added, and I didn't add it, God decided to add it to my resume. Cancer survivor. Cancer thriver.
Come on.
That I can stand and I can encourage, but I can hold your hand. I can make myself available. It's a blessing that I'm available for individuals to call me and for me to be able to say, hey, listen, because people were calling me constantly saying, hey, do you need somebody to sit in chemo with you? Do you need somebody? The waiting room was full. People constantly calling. When you go, I'll go with you. Packages laying on my doorstep. It was so much stuff always on my doorstep being delivered from Amazon. I couldn't carry the stuff in because I was too weak. So a neighbor would come over and carry the stuff in for me, and it would just be sitting in the foyer.
Wow.
My community leaned into me.
I love that. That is such a blessing. Oh my God. That's such a blessing. And I Sharice, don't forget your thought. I just wanna throw this plug in there. When Chanel talks about cancer, it's the same thing that young people face. That's the same feeling of needing somebody, needing a community, needing someone to care for me, to let me know that I'm special, that I matter to somebody else. I mean, when you're going through things like what Chanel speaks of, and when you're going through isolation, when you're trying to figure out your way because all your homeboys or homegirls are doing one thing and you're trying to go in a different direction, but you don't really know how because you don't see, you haven't seen it in your family, you don't see it amongst your friends, and the community that you live in, it's a struggle. So you're trying to figure it all out. You need that community, like she said, that not only you lean into, but they lean back at you without you asking for help.
That's it.
Sometimes you need to do stuff without people asking you.
That's right.
Because we can't ask for it. Those young people, they don't know how to ask for it. People who going through cancer and serious illnesses and things like that, depression, they don't know how to ask for help all the time. Sometimes we just need to do it. And if we do more of that, if we do more of being kind, if we do more of simple acts of kindness, do more of showing love, then maybe we can have a community that exemplifies love more than it exemplifies death.
Yes.
Because when we say nothing about death and the things that's happening within our community, the hopelessness, the blight, the drug and alcohol abuse, the high rate of incarceration, when we say nothing about that, then it says that we're just as much a part of the problem as anybody else. We're not being the solution. So we have to do some of the things that we've heard here today in taking ownership of our home, ourselves, our community, and making things better for all. And Sharice, you had something.
First, I'll be remiss if I don't say that I have 3 adults. I did not say nothing about my children, and I really just I got so convicted by that. And just to give honor in that space, but don't take this lightly, y'all. Don't laugh at me. But I feel the segment from The Color of Purple with no with Chanel and Tarnisa, where should come back from being with the mayor's wife, and she said, "I just want to thank you, Miss City, for that day when we was in the market and you helped me because I remember sometimes." I remember sometimes when my life was hard and I called on people. Certain people wasn't there. And that's the hard part about going through, because they say if you need help, ask for it. But then when people don't show up and you don't want to ask no more because you don't want to be let down. But it was certain people that showed up every single time. And I'll say that about you, Chanel. Every time I called you. And I was scared when I heard. That's why I probably blew your phone up. I called and I text because I just wanted you to know that I love you. I just wanted you to know that I was thinking about you. And I know that during that time that people can't be around people. I understand more than you probably know. I understand. But people don't get it. When you have people in your life that they strong, man. I'm talking about just strong. And when you see them, you see God in such a way. You want other people to be able to be a part of that. So you open up doors. I was ready. We was about to get ready to get them girls and get them getting into them financial classes, because it's things that people need to hear. But for such a time as this, God said no, so we still gonna say yes. I'm just thankful. And Tarnisa, don't cry. Don't cry. When I wore hoodies, because I ain't want nobody to look at me. I ain't like people. I went through a stage in my life where I ain't like people, y'all. And I'm saying this because I know somebody is feeling like they tired of dealing with people, because people be peopling. You know how they say life be life and people be peopling. They are. And they're not gonna show up how you want them to half the time. But in the midst of it, take what you need and leave the rest. What they give you, take what you need and leave the rest.
That's good.
Tarnisa started a group for women with Hurley. They sent me to Tarnisa's group. How you think I feel about to go to my friend's group after going through a depression? This is somebody I done went to school with. Like she gonna judge me. She gonna make me feel bad. I don't want to go. Why when I went when it was all said and done? Tony said, "Come on, we gonna go to my house. We gonna sit down. We gonna eat.
Oh my goodness.
We gonna do some things together." You never know what part a person play in your life. And look at me now. Look at me now. Yeah. I ain't bragging. For all of y'all that see my stuff on Facebook, I ain't bragging. I'm just showing you what God can do for you. People don't understand where I've been. When you done been all the way down to the bottom and God bring you up, and it ain't because of nothing you did, it's just because of who you are. That's boss right there. That's boss. It ain't got nothing to do. This book was for our community. But the programs and things, that's for our families. I'm sorry, I'm out of camera. am I out of the way? Is it me?
I know, but I'm saying. No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. But I just needed you to. It ain't coincidence that we sitting here together tonight, right? It's just not. It's been times where I wanted to. I talk turkeys all the time, but we be talking about other stuff. Sometimes you need to let people know give them the flowers.
Yeah. Here.
Because life is fleeting, time is short, and tomorrow is not promised. So, those of you that are feeling left out and don't feel like you have people, can y'all just put it out there? We here. Yeah. We ain't going nowhere until God say so.
It's on you to drop it in the inbox. It's
on you. Call. We're available. We want to help. Mm-hmm. So I just needed my sister friends to know. Being at somebody's desk all the time. I just need you to talk to me. She got 99 clients. I got time for you. Wow. I thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Sharice.
Yeah.
That is so, that truly is what it's all about. And look, y'all, I apologize. All these beautiful ladies, we got tears. I know we all trying to.
Everybody got no tissue.
I know we don't got no tissue. I got to bring some tissue next time. But this is also true. And there's no scale. I mean, it's at all levels. When you talk about being kind, when you talk about wearing hoodies, as soon as I heard that, the Spirit of the Lord said she didn't want to be seen. She didn't want nobody to see her. She wanted to be invisible. And guess what? It's so many people in the world right now who trying to be invisible because of their circumstance, because of their situation. So just you all sharing what you shared today. I know, let me see, people have put so many comments in the post. Awesome job. This is so true. I can't see all the comments, but there's some really good comments in here. Thank you all so much for sharing your story. So it's truly, truly, truly a blessing. I appreciate y'all so much. So as we prepare to close, I want each of them to close out. We still got a few more moments, but I want them to close out to talk about how they're utilizing. Because when we do things, when we have a purpose, when we have a calling, when we have an assignment, we don't just do that thing and just put it out there and just let it be. No, you gotta shape it. You gotta water it. You gotta nurture it. You gotta dig up some roots around and stuff. You gotta learn some lessons from it. A lot of different things. So I want to know, like, are these books just sitting on the shelf, or are you utilizing them as an instrument to impact change at every level? Whether it's someone who's going through, they're being strong and they're trying to do the best that they can do, or it's someone who don't feel like they have anybody and they're trying to find their way. So how are you utilizing your tool as an instrument for positive change?
A lot of times, I do set up and sell them. It's on Amazon, but a lot of times I'll give them away. Especially if I hear somebody sharing their hardships and them having a hard time. One thing that I did want to say in full transparency, a lot of times people wonder why I've always reached out to other people. It's because I've had a lot of pain in my life. And I didn't want other people to go through the same pain that I was going through. Yeah. But I had to get to a place to where the same faith that I was having for everybody else, it's the same faith that I had to have for me. So just to be able to be here, you know, like she's Chanel Diamond. That's I call her Chanel Diamond. Her name is Dismond, but I changed it to Diamond. You know, she said that cancer is not a death sentence. I want people to know that divorce or a bad breakup is not a death sentence
That's right.
either.
That's right.
You still had an opportunity to move forward. So just being available and visible, coaching and helping others through so that they can embrace their better version of themselves.
Thank you. I'm gonna let April go next, but I also want to say that I just felt this when you said that poverty is also not a death sentence. I remember when my brother and I were younger. I mean, our parents worked in the shop and stuff like that, but I never knew that we were like, you know, like there was like a poor, middle class, rich. I never knew that because of how our parents and our community sheltered us. But I mean, it was real, and people would tell us that based on what bracket we were born in, that's where we were gonna stay for the rest of our lives. So if you're born, you know, poor, if you're born middle class, that's where you're going to be for the rest of your life. So how does that give me any hope to believe that I can be better, that I can aspire to do more, that I can give back to my community? So poverty, right now, you might be trying to figure out how you going to pay the light bill, how you going to pay the water bill, how you going to get food to feed your family and things like that. Guess what? I mean, I always remember the time when I walked to the store with bottles. Me and my son, he's 32 now, but when we would walk to the store with bottles, I mean, you know, bottles, and you walking, it couldn't have been more than 20. So what, $2, $3? But it helped. It helped to buy some lunch meat, some bread, some cheese. That was me. I did that. I mean, it was rough. It was hard. And you might look at me today and say, oh man, I can't believe that. Yes. And I don't mind telling nobody because I'm proud of where God has brought me from and who I am today. And I want to make sure everybody don't have to go through that situation if we can help them. We're stronger together. I can help some folks, but I can help them even more if me and my sisters and the community is connected together to pull some folks up. So I just wanted to share that the poverty also does not define who you are, because you can definitely achieve so much greater than what you see on a day-to-day basis.
That's right.
Yeah, with me, honestly, I released my book back in November. I have donated to a youth program. I've given some away, but I have not promoted like I should. I'm really just now promoting. Um, I never, I never had the, I never thought about writing a book. Never thought about it. But when I was going through, and God gave me the answer, tell the world what I've done for you. So I'm like, okay, well, what you want me to do? He said, write your story. And I'm writing, and I'm like, I don't know how to write a book. I don't know how to write a book. He said, okay, stop trying to write a book and write your story, and it's going to format into a book.
Oh my goodness.
And then literally the next day, my sister called me like, I'm reading this devotional, and it said every day write your story in 150 characters.
Wow.
That was confirmation for
God.
me. But I never wanted my kids to know my story. I never wanted my family to know my story. So when I wrote the book, I wanted to promote it behind the scenes, because I was still carrying shame. I was still embarrassed. I was still hurt. I was still broken. But God said, this book is for someone. Wow. This is for the world. You tell the world what I done for you, so they can come to me.
Wow.
And
Thank you,
just walked in obedience and did it. So now y'all know my business.
All your business. We're going to be all up in your stuff.
That's okay. It's good business.
Yes.
Good helping business.
Yes. Sharice, can you share?
I like to say, let's not leave out depression and anxiety. A lot of times people that go through those things get a bad rap, but people really don't realize that they trying to restructure and rebuild and figure things out again, because depression shifts the brain. It does things to the cognitive way that you think about things, and it took me a while to figure some things out about myself. I'm being so honest, y'all. I used to be like, why you do that? Or why did you say that? And when you're dealing with those things, you don't see it until it's already done, right? it was so hard to like have conversations because I would be so anxious that I would be afraid that I was gonna say something wrong. But I'm just here to tell you that if that is your issue, if you're dealing with those types of mental health things, there are ways that you can do things to build yourself up. The mind is the most powerful thing that you have. And that's why the enemy attacks it.
Yeah.
That's all. That's why he attacks it, because if he can get your mind, he got everything, right?
If he can get your mind, he can control your
Yep.
destiny.
That's right, everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's always got a wrap around.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my book is it's about trauma, and it's about how parents can deal with trauma. I wish I would have had a book like this when my kids was growing up. I say that about a lot of my classes. I wish I'd have known the stuff I know now when my kids were younger. But thank God that some things came about. So now I can give that information back. And this doesn't mean that I know everything. Not by a long shot. It just means that God is able, and he'll do something for you if you allow him to. And he did. This is my first book, and it's on something that I am very, very, everybody, y'all got y'all books about y'all life. I guess I gotta go back and do that. I jumped over that
Of
and
course.
did something about, something else. But this was because I didn't want it to be about me. So many times we do stuff and it's about us. Nothing wrong with that. I wanted it to be for other people, and especially the families in Flint and Genesee County, because we have been through so much. And like Tanya used to say, when the bounce back, it is amazing to watch how this city has rejuvenated and done so many things, but we can do so much better together. So Kenyatta, thank you for the opportunity. I didn't know what to expect today, but I'm just, I'm thankful anytime that I get to say the words that have something to do with encouraging someone, because I know what it's like to be on an island. I know what it's like for nobody to be there and you want them to be there. And I know what it's like to not want people to be there because you know what they gonna say.
That's good. Oh, that's good. Well, sure. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Because that is true. I mean, it's just true. So thank you, Sharice, for that.
Thank you.
And my last is Chanel Disman. Chanel, if you can close or say whatever you would like to say as we close out this segment.
Well, first, let me just say thank you.
You're welcome.
This is a wonderful platform, a great opportunity to come together and to hear the stories, to hear the testimonies, to hear the vibrant words of encouragement, to feel the energy in this room. I know that those who are seeing this have to feel the energy, right? It has a way of encouraging, inspiring, and motivating. And I'm so grateful to be in this space. There is healing in the tears. There is healing in the words, right? The love that is being shared in this room is being expressed. But I think most importantly, the love that's being expressed by each and every one of these projects, each and every one of them, because they're projects of purpose.
Yeah.
And they just have made such a difference, and they're making a difference in April. Even though you haven't been promoting it, it needed to resonate in you.
That's good.
It needs to resonate in you, right? It has to, because it's living.
It is.
It's a living story,
That's good.
right? And so I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be here today. I really, really am. And just in remembering that we are all written epistles, read of many men.
Come on.
And just to understand.
You're
that
Preaching
some-
it. Preaching
Come
it.
on, come on. I'm about to start shouting amen, hallelujah in a minute. Come on, take us to church. Come on, take us to church, Christ store. Come on, take us to church. We ready to go.
Yes, we are. I receive it all. I receive it all. I receive it all. pastor was just talking last night about being ruler. So you speaking
And
to
we
you. I'm
are.
ready.
We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Someone is reading our story
Yeah.
when we show up every single day. When we show up as our authentic self or our fake self.
There you go.
Somebody is reading that story.
That's right.
And they're going to do something with it.
So true.
give them something good.
Yeah.
Give them something
Yeah.
good that can
right.
make their lives
Yes.
better. So again, I'm taking so much from this space.
Yeah.
So much. And the number one thing that the doctors tell you with you are diagnosed with cancer, avoid all stress. There is no stress in this room.
That's right. That's right.
There is no stress
Not
in
at
this
all.
room.
Not at all.
Right? But I'm cancer free.
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm still avoiding
That's
stress.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. Stress is a killer.
It is.
It's
It
a
is.
silent
Among
killer
African
too.
Americans.
So you really got to be careful. And I tell you, you may not feel the stress because we get strength from one another.
That's right.
And that's exactly how it is in community.
right.
That's exactly
That's
how it should be in church. We
That's
should
right.
gain strength from one another.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be depleting
That's right.
our strength.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be soaking up my stuff.
That's right.
But instead, you should be building me up. You should be strengthening me and making me better than how I was before.
That's it.
And we're so glad that you're here with us today.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I just want to say that I think one thing that's a common denominator in here is that we don't have to apologize.
That's right.
For one, you can feel the love, but the love of God, the love of Christ. Everyone that's in this room is booted and rooted in the love of God. So our faith connects us. And I'm just so appreciative for you and for you creating this platform. And I continue to pray for your success.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you for us being able to come together and stick together. And not only that, when you take my book and I take your book,
All right now.
and then you take your book, and then we take your book.
All right
And
now. Look,
it ain't about my book.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
about
my
our
sister's
books
book.
and our
Yes.
stories.
I love
Yeah.
that.
To be able to come together and care for our community,
so
our loved
cool.
ones, and each other.
I love that. Thank you, sister. That was so powerful. Shoot, y'all keep those books. Y'all need some signatures.
Yes.
But I need to exchange because I already got Sharice's
She
book, so I
do.
need another one. But yeah, I need some signatures in here too. So thank you. So everybody go to Amazon,
No.
purchase
Or purchase them from me.
purchase a
Me
book,
too.
or you
Don't
can
purchase on Amazon.
well you can get with Sharice.
Just
Yeah.
call me.
Look, for those who have Amazon, go to Amazon and type in the title of the book. And for those that don't, just text or email or send a message because they are on my Facebook page, all the speakers today, and they linked
I will
up.
bring it to
So all
your
you
house.
got to do is just click the link and you go right to their Facebook page and
Yeah.
request a book.
Yeah.
Or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, let's get these out in the community and let's continue the positivity, the kindness, and the love. I want to give a shout out to Out of the Mud Inc., my boy George and James. They are doing a doggone thing.
Yes,
This
they
is
are.
such a cool facility. And look, they got back to the brinks out there right now. You could just look right out this window in their facility and you could just see all of Flint just about. It's just so beautiful. So if anyone needs space, if you want to do a podcast, if you want to get your voice out, if you want to share news, information about community or whatever, please get with James or George, or go to Out of the Mud Inc. and you can hit them up on Facebook. Either way. I also want to let you all know that on Friday and Saturday of next week, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Friday and Saturday of next week, there will be a play at McCree Theater called Somebody Somewhere Has to Care. And it correlates so strongly with everything that we've talked about here today. So I would love for you all to be there. The tickets are only $12. So you can come, you can bring your significant other, your family, whoever you would like, or you can purchase a ticket and gift it to someone in community. These the proceeds help to develop activities and projects for young people and families who are highly vulnerable and or susceptible to violence. So your seed is definitely being planted in good ground. I'll close off with this. Yesterday we were at a community meeting over at Center of Hope, and there were young people there. They were age 18 to 24, and the caterer brought in the food. So all the people getting up in line and they're getting food and everything. One of the young people came up to me and they said, is it okay if I go outside and get some water? I'm like, why would you get water when it's like pop and juice and all this stuff here? He was like, well, I didn't know that was for us. I thought it was for everybody else. So it just shows how excluded people feel, particularly our young people in community, how they don't know how to engage and how to connect with other folks. And so we have to really be intentional about showing that love, showing that kindness, making sure we see each and every individual for who they are, whether it's in the neighborhood, whether it's at the grocery store, whether it's at the gas station. It really doesn't matter. Just let's begin today if you're not already doing it. And if you are already doing it, take it up just a notch. Take it up a notch and show some love, give some love so that we can truly be a stronger community. So in saying that, I'll say thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being with us on today. We will be back with you very, very, very soon. Please share this message and this information from today with somebody who you think could benefit and use it. Yeah. And make sure to go out and get those books. Hit these people up and get these books. Go get them. All right, y'all. See ya. Have a wonderful day and a great weekend. Peace